did. That makes you now level 6. Yes.
No, this is odd.
There's a black orb.
Yes, there was.
And we touched it. Well, Rogue touched it.
I didn't touch it.
Stole it.
Attempted to steal it.
I was keeping it
It's good
safe.
thing you were such a bad thief.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and there's a giant comet barreling towards the Earth.
Oh yeah. Like out of nowhere, like. Oh yeah, you also got this problem heading your way.
And it's linked to the king's death.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we saved these dudes from the flying, the
Yeah.
shadow demons.
Yeah.
And there's looting in the city.
Yes. Alrighty. So, with that, you've been able to sort of collect your thoughts, siege the immediate wound. A couple of guards, unfortunately, weren't able to make it, but a few of them have been able to pull through just fine. You spend the next hour sort of making your way to the southeast, leaving behind White Forest, and you make your way down, entering into the Imperium. As you make your way on through sort of like the mountains, roads and whatnot, there's quite a lot of traffic that seems to be moving away towards your general direction, away from the city that you're heading to, Kingston. A few of them seem to be sort of merchant folks, but others seem to be more sort of families and whatnot, making their way at quite a hurried pace. Nevertheless, you sort of rest on down for the evening. You're able to sort of collect your thoughts, have some much needed downtime, at which point you level up. You sort of re-emerge the next day feeling a little bit stronger, and definitely seeing to any sort of immediate wounds that you need. So, you set on off for another day, heading down towards the southeast. And this continues going for about 3 days fully. It's a fairly uneventful ride. You don't have any more trouble come your way, but nevertheless, it's a fairly long and arduous journey. At which point, on the 4th day, you see in the distance this large sort of sprawling various sort of, by this point it's sort of early evening, and you can see a lot of sort of torchlight in the far distance as you sort of reach the cusp of a. You make your way down on down the northwestern, heading towards one of the several different gates that are before you. As you make your way on through, you can see that there's quite a military presence here. There's a number of guards on the gates, far more than you've seen previously. You sort of count quickly, eyes darting from one side to the next, just sort of having a rough estimate. And there's a good dozen or so guards on each. Those that you rescued previously from the patrol sort of thank you for your efforts and then head off towards one of the garrisons to give them their report of the incident that occurred. As you sort of head on into the city proper, there seems to be quite a bit of tension into the air. As you sort of look at the different alleyways and whatnot, you see people darting to and fro, making very little contact with one another. A lot of businesses are either in the process of or have been and there seems to be little in the way of individuals sort of coming and going on the streets, more so just people rushing into what residence they can. There seems to be various sort of groups here and there, mercenary groups. You see sages, you see town guard, you see all kinds of individuals and various sort of organizations coming to and fro. But it definitely feels that the city, while it's not quite on lockdown, people are certainly being very cautious as to where they go. Okay, so you arrive in sort of the market bazaar, and a good 50% of the stores are closed at the present time, but there is still some business here and there for whatever you're needing. So, what is your plan? What's your first point of call?
I got a question about the guards
Mhm.
before they left us. Like, if we wanted to talk to them again or ask them for information, they're probably a good source. So, do they have like a pub or something where they probably will be heading off to?
So, one of the nuns speaks to you. I will be heading into the grand barracks. If you need anything from us, you can find us there.
Grand barracks.
Whereabouts?
Grand barracks is, so you are entering in from this entrance over here. The grand barracks itself is quite central. It's this building over here.
Mark it. Good. And what is the grand barracks? It's like the
It's basically
area?
sort of the main. I wouldn't class it as, say, a fortress, but it's definitely sort of the main hotbed of law and order in the city. It is where the stockades are. It is where the watchmaster will be. It is where the guards sort of do their rank and file garrison.
They say everyone's kind of in a panic, rushing home.
It definitely seems to be a lot of tension, yes. Sort of individuals, like a lot of families, seem to be sort of holding up indoors, definitely watching where they're going as they're out. And as you sort of make your way on through, most people are keeping to themselves. The only ones that seem to be, I wouldn't say reveling in the situation, but definitely at norms are various sort of armed groups that are coming to and from. Some you recognize, like I say, you see the town guard of the actual King's Fort city itself, but there are a few other organizations you don't recognize. One seems to be donned in these sort of royal blue head to toe robes with various gold motifs woven in that you haven't seen before. Others, however, seem to be more sort of, I would best describe them as monks. They seem to have like white regalia with red sashes on.
Before you leave, could you also point us towards the Scarlet Chapel?
He sort of nods. Let me look up my note. That was, remind me again, that was the, who asked you to go there?
We were supposed to meet Esme there, I think, because she was the trusted person here.
I see. So, he thinks for a moment and says, I know where that is. And he sort of points on yonder, and the direction that he's sort of pointing on is towards the west side of the city. It seems to be over around here.
Okie dokie. Thank you.
Says, good day to you. And with that, the two guards sort of head on back towards the center of the city. By this point, you're left to your own devices. You have a few sort of individuals come and go, but they, generally speaking, don't really pay you guys much attention, especially, which is quite odd given your more exotic backgrounds and racial ancestry.
It's a big city.
Yes, it is.
Maybe they've seen us types before.
Yeah. You would hazard just sort of looking about yourselves. There's probably a good 15,000 people in the city.
Wow. Okay.
How's the?
How's it coming up?
Yeah.
You sort of look on up to the sky and it seems unchanged. It's sort of just slowly making its way through the night sky. And especially at night, it sort of glows with an ominous violet light. But otherwise, you don't notice any change.
Okay.
What do you guys say? Should we go try for Esme first, or should we talk to the chief of the city guard or something?
What time is it now?
By this point, it's probably about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening.
Up?
Oh, yes!
I mean, you can talk to her tomorrow.
I'm absolutely famished.
Enough. Insert duration here.
It's probably been about 4 days since you left White Forest.
Been a tough long week.
I'm a bit tired of dried meats and berries, so I could eat a horse, literally.
Maybe they'll have a stables.
So, you sort of look about and you sort of see a fairly rustic tavern off a little ways down the street. And as you sort of look on yonder, you see a sign just sort of gently swinging in the wind that says the Black Flag.
Black, sorry?
The Black Flagon.
Black Flagon.
Wait, was
It
that
seems
flag
open.
or
Black Flagon.
flag? Flag.
It seems open for business. A couple of people sort of walks on in. A couple of town guard who look like they've just come off of duty. And especially compared in contrast to some of the other establishments that are around here, yeah, it seems open for business and fairly lively inside.
Lively is good.
Okay.
As we go through, I'll have a little listen out, see if there's any.
Okay. So you make your way inside the tavern. There's various sort of music that are playing, and as you sort of, washing machine's done. As you sort of look on yonder, you hear vibrant music coming out from 3 halfling bards in one of the corners that are trying to and doing pretty well at sort of.
I'm done! I'm done!
that are sort of rallying up the crowd. Give me a second.
Like, dude, your washing's done. Your washing's done. Your washing's done.
Mine actually only does signal once, and then
Mine keeps going until you see. So you sort of make your way on in, and there's quite a lively crowd in here. You sort of dart around, and you're looking between, say, 8 odd tables. There's a good 30 or so people in here. There's quite an atmosphere going. Looking on over to the bar, you see a half-orc that's in the process of just cleaning up a few flagons for new patrons, and a couple of waitresses are in the process of sort of darting from table to table, taking orders and shouting back out to the kitchen. Yes, they are, and they seem to have sort of this not symbol, but sort of the marking that you saw on the sign outside carved in. As you sort of approach, you're able to find a table, and the half-orc makes his way on out. Good day to you all.
Good day, Half-Blood.
He sort of gives you a suspicious eye and says, "We don't have too many of your kind coming through these parts."
That's good, I think.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but you're probably not wrong there. I'm surprised the guards didn't flag you down the moment you stepped into the city.
I'm somewhat of a god myself, and I flash my badge from back home.
He sort of looks at it and says, "Oh, fair enough. Can't say I've heard of the place, but a little bit more authority in these parts never go as." Now, what you drinking?
Let's go for somewhere in your mid-range of your ales, and
Stone half ale it is.
yes, and I would like something to eat. Well, I think we all do.
Troughs of meat.
Bring in all the food.
Very well. At which point he heads on back into the kitchen. You can just hear him shout out, 2 troughs of meat for the new. So, you left your own devices. Z, you said you wanted to have a little listen out just to see if there's any conversations.
Yes, yeah, see what the conversation of the town is, what people are...
Okay. Are you sort of just taking a back seat, having a quick listen, see what comes to your mind, or are you sort of going from table to table trying to make conversation?
No, just casually listening while we sit at the table.
Okay. Can I get a perception check from someone, please?
Perception is going to be 50.
Okay. So you listen in for a moment, half paying attention to your various comrades on your own table, and half just sort of listening out to a few of the others that are around. The feeling that you get, one, first of all, definitely people seem to be on edge. There's a jovial atmosphere in here, but definitely there's a few sort of hush whispers like, "Oh, Betsy's place is closed down." It's like, "Oh, that's the third establishment this week." A few others seem to be wondering, sort of, "Oh, have any news on the successor?" And that seems to be the main sort of driving conversation of various sort of individuals weighing in on who they believe. Based on the conversation that you got, there seems to be 2 front runners: a Vern Bronzewood and a Ferold Longfield. Ferold Longfield. Other than that, there is one last tidbit of information that you're able to get. You sort of brush past a couple of the off-duty guards and whatnot as you make your way to the toilet, but you're able to hear something about disappearances. It's only a brief moment that you're able to hear it, but it sounds like there's a few individuals that have gone missing recently in town, more so than usual.
That sounds similar.
I whisper to you and the others that this town's had a few disappearances.
To the church.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we should ask around and see if there are similarities, and I'm guessing there will be.
Okay. So
Let's we'll do it tomorrow, I guess, but let's remember the grave moss or whatever the fuck it was called, and look at the ash moss. Thank you. And yeah, examine the fucking hell. Words
Brain.
again.
Words.
They escaped me. Entrances to the catacombs around city,
Yes,
the
sewer.
grates and stuff.
Mausoleum.
No.
Sewers.
Oh, yes. Sewers, thank you. Yeah, sewer grates and stuff.
So, with that, you finish up your drinks for the evening. The atmosphere slowly dies away over the course of a few As you're sort of finishing up for the evening, you are able to rent some rooms for probably a gold. Well, not even that actually. Probably 5 silver for the lot altogether. And with that, you're able to sort of settle down for the evening and take some.
I actually, sorry. I actually, I remember to tip the half orc handsomely as well. So I'll just flip him a silver for everything.
He sort of gives you a nod. And he says, I fitted you up some nice rooms for the.
All right, thank you very much.
Sort of make your way inside. It's been done up fairly well. It's got a very rustic feel. And there seems to be a small cask of ale that's been left as a thank you gift to you.
Okay.
So, with that, you rest the evening. You're able to get a fairly decent night's rest without any and a new day dawn. So, you dig in some morning breakfast to get yourself into a good mood for the day. And after finishing that, you decide to head on. So, here's the plan to head straight to the Scarlet Chapel.
Yeah, I'm also gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Any stalls that are on the way.
Okay. So, making just a walking path, please.
That is a 3.
Make your way through, but it just seems that everywhere you try is closed at the. A few individuals sort of you ask here and there, but they seem more interested in ending the conversation as quickly as possible and being on their way than actually delivering you useful information. So in the end, you spend an hour, but you just go around in circles, and unfortunately, you're not able to find anything.
As we walk down the streets, I keep a lookout for the sewer grates as well to see if there are anything suspicious around.
Yeah.
That's an 8.
Okay. So, while he sort of goes off every now and then, just sort of checking around, you try something to fill the time. You have a little look down a few of the back alleys where you expect to find, a few sewer entrances here and there. But unfortunately, you're not really able to find anything for the time being. You definitely get the impression that the sewer network underneath the city is vast in size, but of the couple of manholes that you're able to find, nothing seems to draw your attention, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm a little bit hesitant to ask around too much because we don't know who we could trust as of yet. So, but yeah, I wasn't expecting to find too much, anyways. And I can't stop thinking about those tasty breakfast sausages.
Oh, they were the finest you've had in quite some time. So, with that, after you spend some time doing your various bits and pieces, you sort of all reconvene and head towards the Scarlet. Now, just to sort of synchronize my notes, this was the town, not town watch, the watchkeeper sent you in this direction, correct? From Wintercrest.
Oh. Yes.
Thought as much.
Yeah, we asked who we could trust inside, absolutely trust inside the city. So,
so you make your way on through, and you're able to find in a small little courtyard. So it's The church itself seems down I wouldn't go as far to say a back alley, but it's definitely off the beaten track a little bit. And sort of looking around here and there, you definitely get the impression this is one of multiple different churches that are about. There's no like central church. Having said that, there's quite a nice courtyard that's here, and a couple of people are sort of coming in. You make your way on inside, and it seems quite quiet here. A few handful of individuals are sort of in deep prayer, and you sort of notice to the far side a dwarven woman, sort of red, scarlet colored hair, which has been sort of tied at the back into braids. And she is busy sort of reading through a few books and sort of putting them back in place and what. She seems to have like these white priest robes with various sort of reddish sort of sashes worn in, along with gold motifs. She sort of turns towards you as you sort of all enter in, and she sort of gives you an inquisitive look. She puts down the book that she was currently reading, and she sort of moves on towards your direction. You won't be needing weapons in this place, my friend. There's enough. I won't. What did she say? She says, the only protection that you will need in a place like this is from our delightful gods.
Plural, eh?
Gods? More than one?
Many gods. Are you religious?
No.
I see.
Yes,
And what
but
brings you? She sort of gives you a query up. And then what can I be doing for you today?
We were sent here by insert name I can't remember. We're looking for Esme Firehalf. We were told she was someone we could absolutely trust in this city.
Make a persuasion check, please.
$12.
So looks at you, and then looks at the remainder of you. So this is I. I take it you have just arrived into the city.
Yes, we have.
Things have taken a turbulent. Things have turned quite turbulent over the last couple of weeks or so.
Yes, we heard, and we take it you've noticed the fireball in the sky.
I've been combing through as many of the texts that I can to try and find information about it, but it has proved challenging to say the least.
Yes. We happened upon a demonic cult in... was it Wintercrest? No? Wind...
I haven't been there in many moons.
Yes. It seems that you might be having the same issues in the city as they did. People disappearing.
Please, let's talk a little bit more privately. At which point she sort of brings you into a small back room of the church and closes. She sort of puts her feet up behind a desk and says to you, "You make a."
You're cutting out, Dean.
Am I?
Okay. Usually at the end, you cut out.
Okay. So she sort of brings you back into a small room at the back. She goes behind a desk and sort of puts her feet up, shuts the door. She says to you all, "Please let us continue this conversation. Tell me everything that you know."
All right. Um, yeah, but yeah. So we there were some killings that happened around the other little town, and they were being pulled down into the sewer system and taken to a church, and we think they were sacrifices in a larger rite, a demonic rite, and we believe that uh, the burning fireball in the sky is a result of a, I think, successful summoning of sort. I think maybe, perhaps.
This is dark news if it is indeed true.
Mm. And we also found a scrying ball orb. Yeah,
Spying with whom?
that we do not know, but it seemed to be dark magic, and the person, the inquisitor in the town, took care of the orb, and he said that it was. Oh, yeah, he confirmed that it was a scrying orb, and it had some dark magic surrounding it, so he had warded it securely.
See, these are disturbing news that you bring.
Yes.
Well, I don't know anything about no demonic scrying orbs, but I can tell you that, at least from this part, we have had some disappearances. Myself and others have been looking. So far, from what we can tell, we estimate it's at least a handful of dozen have gone missing. More so than usual. It's difficult. We've always had disappearances in the city. It's size. It comes with the territory. But a few have been strange, to say the least. I have tried to reach out to the Clasp. They are the main criminal underbelly of this, but they don't seem to be responsible. At least that's what they say. I don't know how well they can be trusted. As the town guard, well, they posted some a handful of individuals here and there to look into it, but from last I heard, they haven't made any headway. And quite frankly, with all the chaos that's going around at the moment, their resources are limited, to say the least. So it has fallen onto us to have a look.
Do you trust the head of the town guard?
She thinks long and hard for a moment.
Should we report in and offer our services?
Reporting in is always. There is no harm in that. However, from what I remember, Edgard is. I've had a few dealings with him. He is an ambitious fool, to say the least, and he'll try any attempt to get a resolution to the case one where he's more interested in results than he is about actually seeing it through and getting justice done properly.
Ah.
I have no reason not to trust Edgard, but I would be wary of him. Definitely in my time, he has had a few. He has had a few the word. I've had no reason not to trust him, but I fear for his resolve and how he wishes to bring the investigation to an, if it makes sense to you.
Yeah, I understand. Do you know of any of his lieutenants that can be trusted?
I've had only a handful of dealings with Edgar. His lieutenants at the moment, I couldn't say I know too much about.
Okay.
There are many organizations in this town. Some of them are fairly commonplace. Others have come from the far stretches of. What I would say is this: there are many individuals that have great interest in the goings on in this city currently. However, the individuals that I am a part of, we are an order that looks and tries to help humanity in times like this. So have notes that you can always come here if you need a helping.
Can you divulge the name of your order?
What?
I couldn't hear anything. You were bubbles.
Yeah, your voice is all bubbly.
Okay. We are the Order of the Equatable Dawn.
Okay.
Do you have a map of the...
I have no map, but I can describe them to you at least. Most of them seem to be concentrated around the northern section of the city. That's where you'll find many of the back alleys, as well as, I would say, out of the odd 20 that I'm aware of, 13 of them have been from the northern. A further 5 have been from the west, around here, around these parts, and the rest have been towards the south.
During any investigation, was there any...
Moth? Would you mean moth? Is this something we should be on the lookout for?
Potentially. Appearances we've had previously.
This is disturbing news, but nevertheless could be useful information.
I do remember someone saying that this moss is most prevalent around graveyards and also inside the Underdog.
Very well. You also know it grows, you've been told it grows in areas of desecration.
Oh, yeah, desecrated ground. That's it as well. Yeah, thank you.
She sort of looks at you and says, "This is dire news, but all information is good information, I feel. My doors are open to you any day of the week. And if you're needing a place to rest, you may use this church to your bed."
Do you have any other safe houses around the city?
We do, but I feel as though I've already stepped above my remit for the organization.
It's understandable. And we just met.
There was the like.
The latest disappearance was actually quite close nearby. There was an alleyway. I can show you if you. Okay. So, with that, she sort of dons a coat and she sort of waltzes on out from the. She makes your way slightly towards the south, and she shows you over to this alleyway over. And you sort of make your way through. She says, "It happened 3 nights ago," and you can sort of see there is still like a sort of a dried patch of blood on the nearby wall. And sort of just absolute carnage, just sort of broken crates here and there. The town guard came shortly after it occurred, but other than trying to clean up a mess, I don't think they've really done much due diligence, unfortunately.
We should have a look around and see if we can find any traces and sewer grates. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so with that, sort of Esme sort of turns to you and says, I need to get back to the church, but if you do find anything, please let me know.
Yeah. And thank you very much. And
Well,
I give her 2 silver as a donation.
She bows her head in response. Like I say, my door is always okay. So Esme begins heading on off back towards the church and leaving you to your own devices. What is it you do? Like?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, let's get an investigation check from those who are having.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 17.
Nice.
Wait, why is my... Oh, for fuck's...
18.
Very nice.
I swear to God, someone keeps flipping. I mean, the
Quincy?
die didn't even land on it.
Right. So you'll begin investigating, having a little look around, see what you can find. However, Z and you seem to very much be on the sort of the top of your game, and you're immediately able to find signs of disturbance. You're able to find. You're able to find what looks to be not skid marks, but basically sort of signs that someone has been sort of dragged through the alleyway.
Are they brown?
No, they are not. And as
Okay.
you sort of follow them, you're able to find what looks to be a sewer. And that is where the trail leads. And as you sort of look around, you see ash moss darted around the exterior of the mansion. Quite an elaborate amount as well. It sort of begins grasping on out into the alleyway itself.
I take a sample of the moss to take back to Esme so that she can know of it as well.
Very
And
well.
maybe examine it a bit.
Yeah.
Well, this is alarming, guys. Seems we do have the same problem here.
Let's be the murder.
I've got a raging clue right now.
I must be right back a second. I need to pee.
Okay.
On that note, so
All right.
a refill of tea.
Oh yeah.
I'm back.
Welcome back. That was a quick pee.
I pee quickly.
Did you wash your hands?
Boss?
I mean, you gotta wash your hands now these days.
I do anyway.
Before you know, you're gonna summon some great demon. So, Rogue, do you actually go to work tomorrow then?
Nope.
So the dealership hasn't been closed. Well, same for me. We stopped our driving lessons, but we're still supposed to show up. They basically want like the office to be open to answer any questions. But it's also like, well, I mean, if we can't work, then we're just gonna do like spring cleaning or something.
Quickly.
So the cabins are being filled out. We're gonna clean everything, and it's a good time to do that, basically.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Alrighty. So, you have a little look around the scene of the crime. It seems as though whatever took place here, something was dragged out back down into the sewers below. There's a various amount of sort of ash moss from the sewer grate, but otherwise, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount else that you're able to find. Definitely, it looks like some sort of carnage took place here. Various sort of crates are lying broken and strewn to the side, and you definitely get the impression that there's been some level of an attempt to clean the place up, like all the splinters and whatnot being pushed to the side and whatnot, not to block the alleyway. But that's about the extent of things.
Okay. What do you guys think?
I just want to have a quick look.
Sure.
Or the sewers. Okay. So with that, you sort of open on the manhole cover. Your nostrils are instantly greeted with the sense of just fetid sewage. It's pretty rank, but nevertheless, you sort of make your way down as best you can. You get to the bottom. It's about a 10-foot descent from the street level, and you find yourself standing in a very sort of similar sort of style tunnel to the one previously. There's like a walkway to one side and sort of open sewage passing below. As you sort of look around a little bit, you see that there is a open junction about 40 feet behind you, and another one ahead by about, say, 80.
Heading north-south.
It seems to be heading west and east. Okay, so that structure, you've sort of seen it in the distance, but that is main sort of fortress and palace of King's Fort. It is the royal estate.
That's probably a good. I go back to.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe we should. Do we have any method right now to test the ground?
Do we have any map?
Math! Not even twice.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, what was you saying?
Yeah, we were. We should probably ask Esme if they have any methods for testing the ground for desecration, if you know what I mean. I'm not a spiritual orc, so to speak.
You're not that kind of orc.
But yeah, that's just a side note for later, I think. So, what do you think we should do?
I think we should tell us suggestions or break the castle through the sewers. I think talking to Esme.
Well, it would also mean that she would know what we are doing, which is probably a good idea.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, knowing us, we might probably end up in the church again, kill everyone inside, guards show up. Now we have to explain everything. So at least having her knowing what we're doing can help us in that situation.
Fair.
I mean, my guess is that they have infiltrated the castle. That's my theory. So they are probably in there somewhere.
Okay. So
let's go back to the chat.
You make your way back on up the street level. Are you sort of contented with having a look around here, and you just want to head back to the Scarlet Chapel?
Yeah,
okay.
For now. Yeah.
So you make your way on back, at which point you see Esme once. She is sort of deep in prayer at the moment, but sort of as you make your way on in, she stands on back up and sort of makes herself presentable. So, did you find anything?
We did, unfortunately, or well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Really,
Mm, yes, we actually found the moss that we were mentioning before, and I handed over to her.
Okay.
If you want to take a look at it, see if you can
All right.
recognize
See
it or
what I
find
can
it
find out.
anywhere. I also had a question for future reference or something. Do you have a method for testing for desecrated ground?
She looks at you with a query eye and says, "There's many of us that can detect the presence of desecrated ground. Those who are sworn in by the light can often sense the presence of darkness.
Good.
Is this something that you feel you'll be needing?"
Quite possibly. If it's not very obvious to us, it might come in handy to have someone. Because this moss apparently mostly grows in desecrated ground. So there are demonic workings around here. We think we should probably find where they're holding out.
Most definitely. And bring down righteous fire.
Yes.
Oh?
During our time rest, based on the location of where we found the ash moss and the direction the sewers were going,
Yes.
I mean, in a sense, I suppose that does explain a few things, but again, not the best. The individual responsible for the king's death is still being investigated. From what I've heard, the town guard are turning over every leaf, and the Justicars have been getting involved as well. Not a surprise. However, they haven't made much headway, but this could explain a few. If they've been able to infiltrate the castle, then they would have someone working on the inside, someone potentially with access to the...
Yes.
shift to look like current events.
I've read a few things in my time, and yes, there are shape-shifting demons, but the breadth and power of this ability, I am not sure myself.
Why don't we throw holy water on them? Will that melt them? I mean, we could just sprinkle water on everyone and then just be like, oh wait, you're not a demon, you're just wet now.
Just hide it in a sneeze. Achoo! Oh, sorry.
So it takes out a couple of sort of vials, and she hands them over to you, and she says, "Some holy water that I have. If you're heading into the lines, then you'll need every tool of the trade."
Thank you.
Kill someone, her.
So does every person get one vial then?
No, she has 2 vials, and she's handed them over.
Sorry, what?
You like that bad today?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what I've done. I will try my best. She hands over 2 vials of holy water to you.
2, okay.
Just 2.
Who feels responsible for holding on to them?
No, thank you.
Okay, well, I think Jimmy should hold them then.
I love how the orc is the most civilized and just sort of...
I got no pockets! What do you want me to do?
I
put them in my ass?
I take them and I say, well, maybe someone else should take the other one just in case.
I think Mel should.
I hand it. Child, would you hold this one for me?
Hmm?
I hand you one of the vials of holy water to hold.
I drop it. No, just kidding. I hold it very carefully.
Esme sort of looks to you all and just says, "You're a very odd group,
Thank you.
but you're making more progress than the others, so I guess I can't complain." If you don't mind, I'm going to report these findings back to the remainder of my organization. I think they will be quite interested to hear of these developments.
Tell
Yeah.
local
You say,
people.
of course, you were appointed to us for a reason. Nevertheless, if you are heading into the Lion's Den, be cautious. They have understandably been on edge since the assassination.
Oh yes, it's a great way to destabilize a city. Put the politicians into panic mode and see the people follow.
More of the organizations, well, let me rephrase. A number of organizations have obviously come into the city, but their focus at the moment is more so on choosing who should be the next successor rather than getting to the bottom of what happened with the killing. There are the Justicars, of course. They are looking into things. They are, how can we put it? They do not bend easily, and they are very narrow-minded. Bless them. But they are looking into the investigation a little too rigorously, if you ask me. But nevertheless. So, what is your plans, if you don't mind me asking?
So, punch him in the face.
I understand that, but how are you preparing to do so? This is a delicate matter. Are you simply just going to waltz into the castle and ask whoever?
No, we throw the holy water in their faces, and then if they melt, then we kill them.
We need to investigate more of the sewer system, I believe. We should probably follow the sewers towards the castle to see the state of the entrance there, if you may.
If you're heading into the sewers, just be careful of the clasp. They are also operating underneath the city, and they don't take too kindly for people waltzing about. Nevertheless, if you present to them evidence that there are demonic goings on underneath the city, perhaps they might be a little more receptive to your.
The clasp.
Why don't we just get into contact with the clasp and just ask?
Easier said than done, but I might be able to pull a few strings. What it is that you hope to achieve, they don't meet on a dime.
They only need to be informed that we might be investigating in the sewers, and we are not looking for them.
I'll put the word out. I don't know how much good it's going to do, but it's better than nothing.
Yes.
Would that suffice?
Appreciated. Yes, it's very appreciated. I mean, if we do stumble upon them, we will just try to explain ourselves. No, shut up.
Very well. Yeah, my only recommendation is this: if you're heading into the castle, try not to be seen. It will ask more. They'll ask more questions than it will help with.
You're asking for a lot now.
Unfortunately, this is a situation that we must deal with. With the castle on high alert, they're going to be asking questions to individuals that they aren't familiar with, and no due respect, you stick out like a sore thumb.
Yes. Speaking of which, we should probably go report in to the town guard as well.
Like I say, just watch what you say.
Oh yes, we will keep our mouths shut. And I look at the barbarian.
What?
I feel constantly attacked. Well, if you have any more information, or you want some more, or you want some more guidance, my door is always open.
Thank you.
At which point you sort of turn around and standing at the entranceway of the church, you see two individuals in sort of white flowing, I wouldn't call them robes, but definitely sort of monk attire with sort of red sashes tied around their waist and red hoods on. They're just waiting for this conversation to. And sort of Esme looks around and says, if you don't mind, I've got other means to be seeing to by the looks of it.
We understand. Thank you so much. We'll take our leave.
She points, bows her head to you all.
Mm.
And she sort of waves on it, the other individuals that you see.
Yes, I nod to the brothers as we pass them on the way out.
A brief look. They've got robes, and there's not a huge amount of lighting in here, so it's quite difficult to see. But definitely, one of them looks to be human. The other one you think probably is
Tiefling?
tiefling.
Oh, okay. Surprising.
You sort of look to you all, and you get a sort of out beneath the shadow. You sort of see like the bottom half of their faces and whatnot, and they just sort of bow to yourself, and then continue walking towards it. Whereas,
Different style of bow.
I really thought you were gonna say I'm gonna talk into an abyssal.
It was close, but I thought better of it in present company.
As well. So, you find yourselves back onto the streets of Kingsfort once more. You have time here. You're not really time pressured. Obviously, you need to, you've got an idea of what your next step. But nevertheless, you have also time for downtime if you so wish. So, the impression that I get is you want to check in with the town guard next. Is that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, with that, you begin setting on out. You're able to find the Grand Barracks fairly easy. Like I say, you were pointed in its direction earlier, and also the building sticks out like a sore thumb. It's very brutalist in sort of architecture. You definitely get the impression that this is a building built for function rather than aesthetical purpose. It sort of has a tower on one side, and the rest is just this large, sort of intimidating building. A few individuals are sort of on drill here and there as you sort of approach, and there's quite a bit of activity here. Nevertheless, you sort of walk your way on inside, and you're greeted with sort of a large, burly individual, human, probably mid-40s and bald head. He's just sort of in plate mail, just at this sort of desk. He sort of looks to you and says, "Yeah."
Good day to you, sir. We just wanted to report in. We're newly arrived to this city, and we thought we might help. We ran into some of your guard outside the city, and were attacked by some demon spawn, and were pointed in this direction by your subordinates.
Aiden, Gerald, I presume, were the two?
Aye.
You've had some time to converse. Yeah, they were the two individuals.
Yes.
And let me thank you. You brought two of our brothers back alive. It's always appreciated.
It saddens me that we couldn't save the others, though.
No, but you fared off against a demon attack, and there's not many that can save. From what I heard as well, you know how to swing an axe.
Oh yes.
We do.
I presume you're here to see Edgar, town mourner.
Exactly. Yes.
Very well. He's busy, but I can find you some time with him. As a personal thank you, me and Gerald go back quite a way. With that, he stands up from his desk. He sort of grabs hold of a flagon that he's been drinking from, and he begins walking forward and ushers you on inside. A couple of nearby guards sort of grab hold of this large sort of door and open it on up, and you see this gentleman sort of walk on through, ushering you to follow him.
All right.
Okay, you make it down. A few hallways here and there. There's definitely it's brimming with activity. You see a number of individuals that are sort of as you're heading down this hallway. There's a number of sort of doorways that are open with smaller rooms, and definitely there's like large collections of like investigation that's ongoing. You see various maps of the city with a number of sort of pins with various sort of string that's been drawn in between, a number of individuals that are sort of looking through various books and whatnot. And you also see a number of individuals sort of being brought in. And there seems to be a bit of a mix here. Some of them seem to be merchants, others seem to be beggars, and a few of them seem to be sort of mercenaries that are just sort of being hauled in and just sort of thrown into sort of cells nearby. Nevertheless, you sort of continue on going, make your way around, and you're sort of brought open to this very large open chamber. And you can see that number of individuals that are conversing one another. Nevertheless, one of the groups sort of begins to disperse as if their sort of conversation is finished, and you see this half-elf in plate mail with a large sort of crest of the kingdom itself, not etched, but sort of embroidered onto the center. At which point, the gentleman sort of turns to you and says, "The name's Braxis, by the way." And he sort of points to the half-elf and says, "That be Edgard." He brings you on towards and says, "My apologies, my liege, but we have individuals who are responsible for Aidan and Gerald being brought back alive. They say they are here to report." So Edgard turns and says, "So you were responsible for bringing back two of my men alive. I must admit, from everything that I hear, you're certainly capable hands."
Oh, well, why, thank you. Yeah, we as I told, was it Braxis?
Yeah.
Braxis was the you had just spoke with and has brought you.
Right. Well, we are saddened that we couldn't save the others, but we are happy that we could save the two remaining.
Noble.
Is it usual for you to have demons spawn flying around the city, or is it a new thing? Sorry?
Demons spawn around the city?
We were attacked by demons outside.
No, we've had some reports in of foul creatures stalking the wilderness, but I must admit, in the last few weeks, it's really ramped up. Maybe even a month. It's the number of cases that we've been seeing have exploded. The roads are definitely dangerous. That's to say the least.
Mm.
Come, we have much to discuss. At which point he sort of leads you on into a back room. There's a large sort of desk and various sort of armor on display. At which point he takes a seat and ushers you to.
I sit down carefully.
Just a little rickety, but nevertheless, it's able to sort of take your mass. But yeah, it's definitely built for a smaller humanoid than yourself. There's enough seeding to go around, and as Edgar sort of says, so as you can imagine, things are a little bit dire to say the least at the moment. But I could always be doing with able bodies. First, I must ask, what is your intention in
Hmm. Our
That's a
intention.
good question. Why are we actually
Our,
doing this?
our intention when we came here was actually to assist you in, well, first and foremost, whatever you can use us for, but mainly we have some insight into the happenings and disappearances around the city.
Shadow?
We just came from Wintercrest, and they've been having the same problems you're currently having in town now.
This is dire news, but not unexpected. I have had reports from a few locations of similar goings on. We've been currently reaching out to all of those who we can for more information. But you're here now. You say you have some insights to share, so please, by all means.
Yes. The disappearances seem to be connected with the sewers.
What makes you say so?
We found trails leading into the sewers. We found one of the spots where one of your people had disappeared, and we found traces going into the sewers. So, with your permission, we could do some investigation to see if we can find anything further.
Great. This is interesting news. I will pass on the message. You have my permission to enter into the sewers. Just be on the lookout. There are a number of organizations that work down there, and some of them are not too keen on intruders, shall we say. Plus, if, like you say, the investigation is leading down into the sewers, there's no telling what could be down there. I will put some feelers out to some of the organizations. They may not cooperate, but perhaps we might be able to get some more insight if they are able to tell us of some goings on underneath.
Much appreciated. And if you need us for something, just let us know.
But it sounds like you're on the right foot, and this information will prove invaluable. I will pass it on to our investigators. Now, is there anything else I can be of service of while you are?
Can I ask them if they've been searching for sewers?
We have had a few rudimentary searches through, but more so just to see if we could find that this. We've been turning over every stone and leaving no lead. But nevertheless, we have not been able to find anything as to yet.
If I may ask, what's your take on what's happening politically right now?
Politically, we're in complete chaos. The situation with the king has not helped things. It's pulled away a lot of our resources, understandably. We've been trying to find whatever son of a bitch is responsible, but as of yet, we've got nothing. Or at least the investigation is on. On top of that, that's now triggered a power vacuum. We have every organization from those fucking sages through to monks. Organizations that I have no interest in dealing with, and quite frankly, I've never But anyone and everyone who's even worth a damn has been poured into the city to try and to try and dictate who the next ruler should be. So that has compounded things a little bit more. Where I'm having to deal with a delicate situation and a number of organizations that, quite frankly, I wish would just piss.
Understandable.
As for the investigation in on itself, perhaps these findings that you have brought to us are part of that investigation, or instead, perhaps it is part of the disappearances. I don't know.
We believe that disappearances are connected to the power struggle at hand.
It wouldn't surprise me, but so far I have not seen any evidence any strong evidence, at least, to state as much. But I'm going into it with an open mind. My personal take: some organization was behind the killing, and now they are seeing too that their candidate is brought into the fold.
Oh, I do not envy you.
It's trying times. At which point he takes out a flask of whiskey and takes a swig.
I smile broadly. It's a good
We will
thing
see
you
it
have.
through and see those that are brought to justice. That is always the way. Just this time, it might take a little longer than usual.
Oh, a question, by the way. My friend over here, I look over to G. He asked before if you have any decent breweries around town where you can buy ale or alcohol.
Alcohol supplies.
Or alcohol supplies.
Interesting. I mean, I could put in a word or two as a thank you for bringing back a couple of my guards. Would that suffice?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, it'll take some time, a few hours maybe, but I should be able to find you something.
Alcohol.
Very well. In that case, this meeting is adjourned, but my door is open.
Thank you.
Enter into the sewers, see what you can find, and report back. If
Yes,
you bring
sir.
us any useful information, we'll see to it that you're paid handsomely.
Thank you, sir.
Well, at which point he stands up and opens the door to usher you back out. So,
Right.
with that, you make your way back on outside, back out into the streets of Kings. So, okay. So, are you heading back to the same sewer entrance as before, or are you finding somewhere else?
I would. It would be interesting to see where the other killings were. We probably should have asked Edgar, but maybe we can ask the.
Praxis is still on hand. He's currently writing at his desk nearby.
Sorry to disturb you, Raxus. I forgot to ask. Do you have any maps or pointers you could give us to where the disappearances have been going down around the city? Because we would like to investigate those spots.
Make a persuasion check, please. Make a persuasion check, please.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And that was sudden. Yeah, you went really quiet, and now.
A Steam
Disconnected from the server.
Yeah, I disconnected as well. I was rejoining, but
Yeah, I can't roll the dice. I should probably reconnect as well.
Looks like, yeah, all the servers went down.
rip.
I'm reading the chat. Everything is like rip.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tabletop Simulator.
I blame the coronavirus.
Oh yeah, everyone's stuck at home.
Yeah.
I did find it funny that like Microsoft servers went out because everyone in Europe logged in at the same time for Teams. At work, we're like thinking about what we're doing because they wanted to introduce Skype, and I've been telling them, no, get Slack.
Yeah, Slack's a hell of a lot for using Slack.
But they're all worried about. You guys got any experience with how expensive Slack is compared to Skype or Teams?
We're on free tier, I think.
Sorry, free Tierra?
We're on the free tier. I don't think we're paying for it.
And how many people can use it then?
We've got like hundreds.
Sorry?
We've got like hundreds on.
Okay.
I think it just limits your like message history and things like that. But I
Yeah,
don't
think the
believe.
history is 2,000 messages or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think we're on a paid tier.
Now
Just-
see how the week goes.
I mean, you can just. It's basically Slack.
And the best part of all gifts. So many gifts.
Yes.
Contact words when my expression can be represented with a gift.
Did we get the server up again, by the way?
I put a new game.
Version difference.
What?
What?
This.
Let's see if I can invite.
Oh,
I
think
am
did it.
joining.
Table.
Hey.
We are back.
Nice. So, make that persuasion check, please, you.
Let's see if it works this time.
Wait the servers.
Yes.
Nice.
Wait, persuasion. I think that's a -1 on my persuasion, just because I had to restart my browser as well. Persuasion, yes, that's a -1, so 6.
Just forgive me, but I don't believe I can be handing out official documents.
Oh,
Fair enough.
okay. Fair enough. You don't mind asking Edgard if it's okay with him?
He sort of nods, gets on up. He's gone about 5 minutes or so. He sort of comes back and he sort of hands you over a small part. It just seems to be 1 X marks on it, and he says, that was one of the later disappearances. It seems to be, where is it? Here.
Much obliged.
From what I heard, it was 4 nights ago.
Thank you. We will look into it.
Welcome. Okay. So, is that where you're heading?
I think so. What do you guys say?
Well, it's either that or just go for the entire sewer.
Could work out all right. You don't know.
Yeah. Make some skid marks.
Nice. Okay. So, with that, you head on, make out your way up to the northeastern high street. Take a turn in. As you make your way on through, you're able to find the fairly easily, especially with the directions that you've been given. You see a similar scene to your previous endeavors. It definitely looks like some sort of angry or fight went down here. And there seems to be a manhole cover fairly close by with a visible amount of ash moss around it. So, who's doing what?
I will follow the raccoon.
Hey,
Fuck you.
C and B Mac, yeah, straight on down. As you have a little look around, it's quite dark down here. There's a few sort of distant watches and whatnot, but otherwise it's pretty damn dark. As you sort of look on down, there seems to be sort of a trail of dried blood on the walkway, seemingly heading south.
So, let's continue to follow the boat trail then.
So, to start off with, I'd like all of you to make stealth checks, please.
Okay, just to clarify, I am wearing a torch because I don't have dark vision.
Okay.
That's a mighty fine stealth right there. We're gonna be super sneaky.
Oh well, I'm even better. I do get plus 4. I got 7.
Plus 5.
12
That's
total.
an 8.
So it seems. Oh, sorry.
1.
So it seems with the torch, you guys are being illuminated like this bright beacon of lights just heading through these darkened. You head a couple of 100 feet down, at which point you sort of hear, not murmurs, but almost like movement in the shadows to your sides. And as you make your way on down, there's various sort of alcoves, and popping out from a few of them, indirectly in front of you, you see a handful of individuals. Looks like 3 of them. They seem to have blackened robes covering their faces, hand crossbows down to the sides, and sort of look onto you and say, "So, what are you doing for? A waltz of coming down? Out for a midnight stroll, are you?"
Like catching them swat.
Sort of turn around and a few more individuals, so you're now sort of boxed in by a total of 7.
Hold up my hands and say, I take it you guys are the Crips?
Crips?
Crisps?
Clasp.
Let's just do insert name.
I am saying that out loud, purposely saying it wrong.
So it looks to you and says, "We're the ones asking the questions. Who might you be? And what the fuck you doing?"
I'm
We
BMAC.
are. We are. We're investigating the disappearances around town, and we suspect dark magic.
The lead one seems to just turn around to the others, laughs as this dark magic. What is that? Some kind of hocus pocus?
Yes.
Well, it's magic that happens in the dark, hence why it's in the sewer, hence why we're here.
Don't listen to the barbarian.
And so what brings you here then? Your investigation lead you. What bullshit you gonna come up with now?
I can fly.
He looks visibly confused. He sort of turns to the others. Says, "Why don't you leave your possessions here, turn around, and make your way back out?"
Are we killing them?
Slow down. We're still trying to talk with them. Don't have to kill them yet.
I'll wait here.
You're not helping, VMAC. Well, you do know of the killings that have been going around town as of late.
Maybe we do. Maybe we don't.
Yeah, we believe it has something to do with the death of the king, and we think
Giant
there might
meteor.
be we think there might be demons around. And you guys should be careful down here in the sewers. We'll take our leave if you do not want us down here, but it would be preferable if we could.
Make a persuasion check, please.
Just from him, from all of us.
He's the one leading the conversation.
You're not helping, are you?
That's a 2 minus 1.
So, with that, he sort of looks to you and says, "What do you deal? You tell no one about this place? We'll let you waltz on out for a small thing."
Are you sure we don't want
I
to
don't
kill
know.
them?
You look like you're doing pretty well. So say 20 gold. We'll forget this conversation ever happened.
Do we look like we got 20 gold?
I mean, you're doing pretty well with some of that fancy equipment that you got on you. You could leave that instead. You also have a magical axe on your back.
Not gonna fucking happen.
Well, I'm afraid you brought this on yourself. Go on, roll for initiative.
Now we can kill them.
Let's murder them all. Murder hobo D&D time.
What the fuck is
yeah.
wrong with the dice rolls today?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nothing special. It always happens this way.
It was almost 4, but it rolled over to the 19.
Linda, why did you flip it? I saw that. This.
Flip what?
You flipped
Did
the
I?
rolls? Yes. I saw you flipping it.
But I was in my
I saw
Word
you
document.
flipping it.
I was in my Word document.
You're above
23.
15 or above?
16.
Nice. 10 or above?
10.
And
Bringing up the rear?
5.
Okay. So, with that, one of the one of the individuals goes to draw a crossbow, but despite sort of giving the command, they seem incredibly slow to react. Like they're not sure about this course of action. So Z, you're up first.
I'm going to go straight for the leader. Smash him in the face. Bonk him on the nose.
I like how well Prime is prepared for this.
20.
Well, it was a case of I have no idea what you guys are gonna do, so there's no point me putting maps together that probably aren't gonna be used. 20 hits.
Oh, it's more than 20. Sorry, that was.
Oh, it's
Oh, that's a strong roll there, though. 6 damage.
Oh.
And then I'm gonna flurry of blows.
Yep.
Quincy.
Yeah.
16.
16.
15.
Yes. Uh, 15 misses. One of them is able to see your punch coming and just sort of deflects it off with his weapon.
Yeah. So second attack.
Yep.
Oh, fucking cunt. And I'll drunkenly disengage 30 feet.
Rush him forward, hit him with once, and then you're able to sort of sidestep and make your way back without any fire from them. So, next up, Benjamin.
Stab.
Nice.
Leader. Stab the leader.
Okay.
Dodge. That's 7.
7.
17.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Boop, boop. For lightning, 13. Easy.
Nice. Yeah. And second attack?
Oh, why just cracked?
Oh no, people are disconnecting again. Ah, I'm
The
still here.
servers are fucking up.
It's all the fault of the Jews.
Roll 20, here we come.
Yeah.
Like the guy got kicked for saying fuck.
I mean, Roll20 also has bad days because people are fucking playing Roll20 because of Corona.
What a bunch of bastards.
I think we should just all get together.
Yes.
I'm on my way.
I mean,
I'll
we
just
can't
get on
really
a
leave the
plane.
country, but
We can actually, so.
yeah, we can. Oh.
Yeah, the borders are not closed, so.
Belgian borders are closed.
Ah, fuck, we have to go to Germany to go to?
Yeah,
Fucking hell.
Belgium closed the borders. I'm pretty sure Germany will soon do that as well.
Ah, quick then.
I mean, Quincy, you actually do live close to the borders.
Yeah. Pancake House is gonna be closed now.
You can't get Belgian waffles anymore.
Don't worry. We're not good anymore. I prefer the blue waffles.
Oh, yeah.
Waffles.
Benjamin, your second attack?
Oh fuck, I can do that.
Yes.
Shit. That probably hits.
Yeah.
2 lightning, 12 piercing.
Alright. Okay, you're able to get a few quick successive attacks. It seems taken back. Nevertheless, seems pretty strong. VMAC.
Before I attack, I would like to tell them, these fools, that if they let us go, we will just leave. But yeah. Where was the leader? I just attacked the leader then.
That's enough.
With rage and reckless. Or am I flanking with rogue?
I will say it's difficult to get flanking given that there's like a line of.
Recklessly attacking. Alright.
Okay.
16.
16 just hits.
Cool. He will take 14 damage.
Nice. 2 times. And second attack?
Yes, I do that as well, of course.
That is definitely it.
Oh, wait. My head. 19 damage.
Make a persuasion check, please.
I will make a persuasion check. Or, well...
Actually, no. Make it intimidation check.
Okay.
Natural one.
Yeah, I don't think I should reroll this one, so...
Okay, Mela.
Okay, I will use a bonus action to turn into a bear.
Nice.
And I want to, because we can't really see where they are. Like, I wanna stand somewhere where I can flank. Or something.
Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to flank.
Okay, then
You're
I'll
kind of
just
boxed
stand
in. So
Then how can I reach? Can I stand in something? Like
so we've kind of got it. So
yes, this is good. Make.
can kind of squeeze up here, and then my screen's. Hang on a sec.
I like how this is all just pretty crowded, and then you're like, I'll just turn it to a bear.
Yeah.
Bye, Jimmy.
Well, I haven't seen the characters until now. I don't know how
So
high
it's,
it is and
yeah,
where
it's
I am.
kind of like that.
Okay, and where are the enemies up here?
I put a few marks. Oh Jesus, that's huge. Got those there, and then you've got basically
Whoa.
that's basically the setup.
Nice. I'm moving out my old character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe.
So the middle one of the three are is the leader.
Should we kill the leader first?
Yes.
Hurt him really, really bad.
Mm,
Is it okay if I stand here?
it is fine.
Okay, I will use.
I like how it's only Jimmy that disconnected.
Okay, multi-attack. First, the bite.
Yep.
That's 12 plus 5. 17
That is a hit.
is a hit.
Yeah.
One the 8 plus 4. That's 9 damage.
Okay.
Okay. My second attack is the claw, which is 11.
He's able to bat away, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, that's it. I'll stand here.
Okay, you.
Hey, I'm back in.
And you.
Hello, fellas. You made a huge mistake today.
Sort of have swords already, but they're kind of looking at one another as this large orc just comes barreling towards. What would you like to do, you?
I want to. I want to intimidate them and try and get what's it called? Advantage.
Okay.
So I give out my loudest battle roar before I dash over to this guy.
Okay, make an intimidation check.
Write this down as well.
14.
Okay. Let's see what they get. Okay, they look completely taken back, and a few of them sort of wince as you get ever closer to. It's just sort of like a rabid dog heading towards them. I will say you have advantage on your attack, but one of your attacks will be spent doing the intimidation.
Okay. Well, fuck me.
This turtle.
And now my browser is acting up as well. That's good.
The internet is fucked.
Thoroughly. Okay, let's see. There we go. So that's a 17. Cool. And let's do some damage.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to activate my thunder as well.
Oh, yes.
Ha 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 ha.
Bring all the bombs to you.
Seven. Wow.
Fun times.
And yeah, so my. Oh no! Wait! I
Mhm.
get a bonus. I forgot my bonus. My bonus. So plus 6 and plus 2, so plus 8. So that's considerably more.
Yeah,
That's
that's a bit higher.
15 total.
So with that, the guys at the back, I'm going to give these two disadvantage because of your intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to try. They seem to just pull out shorts and try and do their best, but let's see what they get. The first attack is going to be an 8 plus what they got plus 5, so that would be a 13. I presume that's.
Yeah.
Second attack. Ooh, that's a 16 plus 5, so 21.
Yeah, that hits.
They're able to just sort of strike in the side, but only deal 6 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then the other of the two, that's a miss on the first attack, and a 20 on the second.
That hits.
Okay, hitting you 8 piercing damage. These two over here are going to fire crossbows at yourself, Z.
Okay.
Okay. First attack is an 8 against AC. Second one is a 19 against AC.
Hits, but I'm going to use my.
Okay. Dealing 8 piercing damage.
Oh, so it's a D10 plus 10, so I will catch it. I won't swing it back at him, I'll just catch it.
You just grab hold of it and let it fall. And then onto the front. So the leader is going to take a swipe at probably you, VMAC.
Sure.
First one's a crit. Dealing 16 slashing damage to yourself.
Okay, I'll use Stone's Endurance on that hit.
Yep.
Reducing it by 8.
That's
For
which time he takes a second swipe at you. However, only gets a 15 against your AC.
My AC is 15.
Okay, so he hits, dealing an additional 12 slashing damage. This one on the left is going to attack you, Benjamin. However, the best I got is a 16 against AC, which I'm going to assume is a miss.
AC is 22.
Of course, it fucking is. And then this one on the right is going to attack. Getting a crit with the first attack and a 16 against AC on the second. Okay, so the crit deals 11 piercing damage to yourself. And the normal attack deals 6 piercing damage. Z, you're up.
I am going to go after the leader again.
Okay.
Smash. I
Nice.
realised that I have multi-attack, which I didn't use last time.
Uh-huh.
So, first.
Yeah,
8,
that's
so
okay.
26.
Yeah.
8 bludgeoning damage.
Nice.
That wasn't meant to be.
That's fine. Yeah. Rep. Settle.
And then just normal bonus action on Armstrong. Force.
17 hit. Okay.
That was meant to be
It's gonna
6.
get pretty fucked up.
And I will stand there for the minute.
Okay. So, where's that? Benjamin.
Alright, I'll attack the guy on the right. This. Oh, bloop.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, that's it.
one lightning, 6, 14 piercing.
Yeah.
It's 14.
Unfortunately, he's able to just dive out of the way in time.
I'm not tell you.
VMAC.
Yes, I attack.
Okay.
Recklessly.
Yeah.
On the leader. And I get a 20. Uh, 23 damage.
Okay, he's going to use his reaction to uncanny dodge and halve that.
Okay. Well, attack him again then.
Yeah.
Uh, 15.
15 misses, unfortunately.
Okay.
Alright, after VMAC, we got Mela.
Yes. I'll go for the boss guy again
Mm-hmm.
with bite.
Yep.
I
Sad times. You race forward, but you stumble across the.
bite my own lip. Okay, claw attack. Come on. Come on. That's 13.
13, unfortunately, yeah, he seems too quick for you.
By the way, Cluster, do you need any help? How are you doing?
Still good.
You sort of turn around, you just see you hitting his axe into a couple of the guys, just taking 4 of them.
So no advantage this round?
No, it's not being able to sort of get hold of their, sort of whatever the word, reinforce themselves,
Yeah.
get a bit more stomach.
I'll attack the same guy again.
Okay.
That's another 17.
That's a hit.
And that's 18 damage.
Not looking good. Second attack.
It's actually 19 damage, sorry. And yeah,
Yes.
second. If he's still standing,
Just
second
about.
attack on.
That's a hit.
Yeah. All right. It's 16.
Okay, with a quick flurry of your axe, one after the other, you're able to just cut the guy down where he stands.
And I menacingly shift my glare over to the other guys. All right, bring it, boys. I'm gonna cut you down as well.
You see the two guys far side, the ones that had shot crossbows previously, they put them away and pull out their daggers. And they're going to try and move around you. So two of them have flanking. I'm going to try their best to deal some damage to you. However, that's not great. That's 15 against 8.
No.
Okay, second attack. That's a bit better. That's 21.
Yep.
Able to deal 6 plus another 3, so 9 piercing damage.
That's some good damage.
And then the other guy, first attack is a miss. Second attack is a 17 plus 5, so yeah, that'll be a hit. Dealing 6 piercing damage. Finally got this one, who doesn't have advantage. 16 against AC?
No.
Okay, you're too quick for him, and both attacks miss. Okay, over on this side, we've got the leader once more who's going to try and retaliate against yourself, female.
Okay.
First attack is a 17 against AC.
Hit.
Should be a hit. Striking you for 8 plus 4. So, 12 piercing damage on the first. And second attack hits for a further 7 piercing damage. One left is going to attack you, Benjamin. Missing on both attacks, unsurprisingly. Just can't seem to get through your arm. And then this one is going to attack there. 12 against AC. Mela?
Yes, that's a hit.
Okay. So that's both attacks hit. So first one hits you for 12 piercing damage.
Cool.
Second one hits you for 8 piercing damage. Z.
Gonna go after the leader again. Take him out.
He's looking pretty beat up.
So if I do get the killing blow, I want to just knock him unconscious.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, that's 11.
Okay, and with that, you see your opportunity to strike because he reaches out to hit VMAC. You just sort of bonk him on the back of the head with your staff. He goes down cold.
I turn to the others and say, so, who's next? You know, take second strike against this one.
Yeah, the other one seems to be struggling to try and get through Benjamin's shield and armor, and kind of he just sort of looks across as you go and whack. Make your attack roll, please.
Oh, that was so close to being a 15. That is
Yeah, he ducks as you just your fists, or your staff finds the wall behind.
aha. A very dexterous one for somebody that's going to die. I'm gonna flurry of blows him.
Okay.
That's a natural one.
Oh yes.
Stand still, you little shit. Jesus Christ, and that's a 4.
Yeah, he's able to see all your attacks coming and just sort of waltzes out of the way, and almost you see a coy smile on his. At which point Benjamin just pushes him over. Okay,
no.
right, Benjamin.
Back slightly to let the bear in.
I'll finish off this guy then.
That is a hit.
4 lightning, 16 piercing.
Okay, so it's able to dodge out the way of Z's attacks. Benjamin, you've had enough of this. You pull out your weapon and you just cut the guy.
I'm sorry. I flank a bitch. 19.
That is a hit.
Wow.
3 lightning, 15 piercing.
Okay, so after Benjamin, we got VMAC.
Yeah, I'm gonna run back because I
Okay.
got 40 movement speed, so I can actually be in range.
Yep.
Or is it okay? And attack this one, and I also shout really loud, just because.
You are currently flanking with you.
Ooh.
Nice.
Natural 20 again. Nice, we're going.
Ooh.
Okay, 29.
You immediately just embed your axe in the back of the guy's head. You sort of turn around, and there's just blood and ichor everywhere.
I wonder if we can follow that blood trail after this.
Whose blood is whose?
I attacked the other one, but I think I'm on the side of this because I had 5 movement speed left. So
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not able to get into the flanking position.
Yeah. But in that case, I will recklessly attack him. 14.
Yeah, unfortunately, this guy's just able to move out the way of your attack. Not able to connect. Mela.
Yes, I'll go for the one between me and Benjamin.
Okie dokie. You are currently flanking with Benjamin, so you got an advantage.
Yes! Maybe I can hit something.
Fine.
I'll roll another one just in case I get
See if you crit, but that doesn't
Eat him.
No. That's 13. That's like 18.
Yeah,
against
that's a hit.
AC. Okay. Let's see how much damage I do. 9 damage.
Nice. Okay, good start.
And then the claw attack. So that's 14 against AC.
14 misses, unfortunately.
Seriously?
Unfortunately so. It just seems to be a bit too quick for your old bear mitts. You.
Who has been feeding me poison?
All right. I will continue with my wackily whack. Weed whacking.
Yeah.
That's a hit.
Yeah.
That's a 23.
Okay. He's still up, but not by much.
Aw. You're a good fighter. But now you're gonna...
Tries desperately to use his dagger to block your blade, but you just hit straight through the dagger and break it apart.
21 to hit.
That is a hit. At which point you reel back for your second attack.
Goodbye.
You just completely, just almost ripping him in half on the impact. He goes down, entrails spill on out. The other guy next to you just looks petrified.
Yeah, I turn around and I say, well, if he's not gonna finish you, I will.
Okay, these guys are absolutely mortified, so they are going to just run. They're not even going to disengage. They're just going to try and leg it as fast as they can. So
Alright.
Benjamin, the bear, V, and you, if you want to, you can take opportunity attack.
Yes. I will try.
Sure.
That's a 19.
That hit.
15.
15 just hits.
And that's 18 damage.
19.
Okay, between the pair of you, you just see the guy's head flail through the air. His body hit the ground.
He was so brave.
How about you two on this side? You letting the last one?
No.
Fair enough. Make your attack roll then.
No.
You're both flanking with one another, so you have advantage.
Oh, kill him.
Can I choose which attack roll I use? The bite.
Yeah.
Oh, I choose which one I use.
Oh!
I used claws.
Okay.
Yeah, 17
Think
plus
he dead.
5, that should be a hit. 20.
Yeah, make your damage roll, please.
9 lightning, 15 piercing.
Plus 4, 13 damage. is what
Okay,
I do.
so as he tries to run away, the bear gets in his way. Just a quick volley of claw marks slows him down, just enough for Benjamin. You pull out your weapon, flip it around your fingers for a moment, and then just embed it into the guy. Right, at which point we are out of combat.
Poor things. Now, loot the corpses and see what we can find.
Okay.
I mean,
Particularly the leader, to see if he has any insignias or
So,
anything that we can
let's
use.
have the quick 2-minute toilet break, because I really need to pee. And then we'll do that.
All right, I'm gonna make some tea as well. So could we make that 5?
just go. It's
We'll
fine.
make it 5.
back. Back again.
Oh, see it.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
Alrighty. So you finished striking down the last of the fleeing individual. You have some time to sort of see to your immediate wounds of what. But thankfully, whoever this individual's lead individual was, you were able to strike them down without dealing the killing blow. They seemed completely unconscious at the time. At the time.
I am up.
Okay. You get out some rope, you're able to disarm him of his weapons, and you quickly make some restraints in which to tie him down. Okay. So, I believe before we went for a break, you said you wanted to search them, see what you can.
Yes.
Okay. Make an investigation check, please.
Anyone else want to investigate?
I would like to take a look here.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
I can't even find myself.
My intelligence is -1.
So you spend more time just looking at your axe and looking at the blood on it and just the sheer destruction that you've unleashed, rather than really looking around. Mela, you spend time in the bear, but the bear unfortunately is not that great for investigating. So you just start mauling some of the corpses rather than being able to investigate to any degree. How about the remainder of you? How did you do with your check?
I got
12.
a 1.
Nice. Okay. So, VMAC, you begin looking around to see whatever you can find. These guys, they don't seem the best of arms. Most of them seem to have like leather armor on, some daggers, some crossbows, some bolts. A couple of them seem to have small vials of greenish liquid. You're able to find about, say, three of these vials on their bodies. The most interesting thing that you can find, however, is one, a collection of coin. They seem to have a fairly decent amount, about 50 gold between them. But also, the main head guy seems to have a parchment on him. And there seems to be a number of numerals written down.
Okay. I would
And
like to
the
read.
numbers seem to be 2, 4, 7, 8, 6. Indeed.
I think it's the password. For what? I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? Omnius. Okay, well, I give the gold to our money keeper.
Okay.
I think that's Linda.
How much gold was it?
50.
50.
Other than that, I just informed the party of the numbers and everything we found. And I would like to just be all like, well, guys, did we really have to kill them?
You look around, and it's just fucking bloodshed. There's like a stream of blood just ickering down this tunnel, and it's just sheer fucking carnage.
We were following a blood trail. We're never gonna find that one anymore.
I just point at the boss that I'm tying up. Like,
No.
We killed his hand. I mean, if we had, I don't know.
We did warn them, and they would have killed us.
Yeah. Okay. Well. It's too late to change it now. So.
Did anyone write down those weird numbers or whatever?
I put it in the chat.
You did. Okay. So, you have some time to yourself. What's your point of call? You now have a prisoner. But by the looks of things, without any sort of intervention, it's going to take a little while before they wake back up. Okay. Is that what you decide on?
I think Esme would be a better choice.
I'm not too certain that's a good idea to expose the chapel to these.
That is true. I mean, we can't just, like, just walk through the front gate of the church holding a guy prisoner and being all like, hey, Esme, we caught someone. I mean, if you do that to the town's guard, that's fine, but...
I think we should bring him to the town guard. They will question him.
No, I didn't see. So, what's the point of go? It sounds like you got a few options available.
We could also wait for him to come about and see if we can persuade him.
Prime, how long have
Ourselves.
we spent in the sewer so far?
10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, because we found them really quickly, so
It
I would
didn't take
like...
you long.
I say we keep on exploring the sewer and just drag him with us. I mean, I'll lift him, okay?
Well, if you're doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I like lift him up and like put him on my.
Doesn't take much. The guy is fairly scrawny. He seems he's a half elf, so there's not much fat to him. So you're just able to lift him up with one hand and throw him over your back.
Yeah, I'm like carrying him like it was like a bag of dirt or something. Just like at the moment of trouble, I'm dropping him to the floor.
Mela, would you mind healing my wounds a bit if you want to come out of bear form? That is, it's okay. I'm at half health.
I'll
Huh? I'm a half elf. Yes.
half.
Can't you see? Can't you tell? Hmm?
Full
Oh,
orc,
what?
half elf, 1.5 person.
How many
No
people
sauce.
need healing? And
I'm
how much
good.
do you need?
I could use 19 hit points.
Which is what VMAX is exactly.
I need 29.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got beaten up.
And Rogue, how much do you need?
And 0.
Okay, nice.
I caught the projectile.
That you did.
Bullshit monk.
And Benjamin just stood there beating everyone away as they try to hit through his giant.
Fucking amateurs!
Let's see.
Gordon
I
Ramsay
could-
insulting them.
You call that an attack?
I'm thinking how I want to do this. Because I could spend a level 3, but maybe it's better to have them for emergency.
You could
later.
also do a short rest if you wanted to stay here for a little while. It's down to you guys.
Could do
Or I
that.
could spend. I mean, I have quite a few spells, but I just mean that maybe I should save the level 3 spells in case I need to emergency heal someone later during a fight. But I could use the lower level ones. Maybe start with the second level heal on cluster if we
But-
want to continue moving.
I mean, so if we have a short rest, I could tend to my own wounds. If everyone's up for sitting around for a bit, then maybe this guy will wake up. Meanwhile, I don't know.
You mean I turned out of bear form for nothing?
I mean, if you're taking a short rest anyway, that's gonna eat into your bear time.
Yeah,
Bear
my
time.
bear.
So, is that the plan? I've had a few suggestions thrown about, but what does it you guys decide? Okay. So, the area that you're in, fine. Despite the bloody mess that has now been created, it's relatively secure. There's a few sort of alcoves here and there and whatnot, but it seems like it's a sort of like a main connecting tunnel. So you can easily just sort of keep an eye on both directions if anyone wanted to try and outmaneuver you or whatnot. So you're able to sort of take some downtime, rest up from. You're able to complete a short rest without any difficulty. And as it gets towards the end of the short rest, the individual that you knocked out starts sort of coughing and spluttering up blood and is conscious once more.
Hi, friend.
He sort of looks around, dazed and confused, sort of sees that he's been tied up and restrained, and just lets out a sigh. Well, I guess I'm alive. That's one thing, I suppose. Sort of looks around, says, "It comes with the business, I suppose." Who are you? What are you doing down here?
We were actually telling the truth. We're sorry we had to, you know.
Like I say, it comes with the line of work.
You're frightened to take my axe. We don't take kindly to that.
So maybe we can come to an arrangement now. We don't want trouble with your people at all.
That sounds beneficial to both. Name's Silas.
Hello, Silas. My name is you.
I would say nice to meet you, but given the situation, let's just get this over and done with. You've obviously keeping me alive for a reason.
I assume you have.
Of course. These are our grounds, so there's been a few individuals coming and going. We've lost a few of our own. We're still trying to work out what the deal is, but yeah, there's definitely someone invading on our turf around here and ruthless. A number of our guys have had their eyes gouged out, limbs taken off from them and rearranged into all kinds of patterns.
What kind of
It's
patterns?
spirals, things of that nature, runes carved into their skin.
Warlocks.
If that would be our guess, yes, that was some kind of a cult.
Is it possible for us to get permission from you and yours to continue our investigation? I mean, it would help you as well.
I don't exactly pull the strings around here. I'm one individual who leads a small patrol that, well, I need to find myself a new group to tag along with by the looks of it. I can put in a good word, and if you stay clear of the eastern sections, we might be able to work something out.
In which area of the section were most people like missing? Like, where did they patrol to?
South, maybe a little bit towards the west.
And what's above that section?
Not bad. Well, you got all manner. There's a shanty town that's what, not a shanty town, a slum that's near that area. You got a number of residential. Definitely a lot of the merchants keep their homes there. So a lot of the market stalls, etc. Those that run them tend to live in and around those.
Okay. We can most definitely keep our distance from the sewer system of the eastern parts. Would you mind arranging for communication with you if need be? If you want to send us messages or we want to send us messages, because we understand if you do not want to, you know.
With all due respect, I'd rather not see you after this.
I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
What did I say?
Yeah, I couldn't hear
he
you.
said, I'll have to look at. He said, with all due respect, I don't want to see you again after.
Understandable.
I also like, he's just like a small thief that's good. Let's leader of like 10 people are all like, well, I mean, we want to stay in touch with you. Do you have any magical devices that allows you?
Phone number or
That is exactly. That is not what I meant. I mean, there's an underground communication system with runners and stuff, I expect.
Yeah, for sure. The way how he's just sort of looking around at all of apparently his friends that you've brutally murdered. He doesn't want anything to do.
On the other end, if he becomes friends with us, then he probably will not be killed by us, and we're
I
strong.
wouldn't say friends. It could be mutually benefactory to keep communications open.
Still, we could kill.
I mean, to be fair, I think most people that associate with us get killed.
Oh, we know.
No, it's not our fault. I mean, it's their fault for following us.
Make a persuasion check on the idea of you say you want to leave open the line of communication. Make a persuasion check. Let's see how.
9.
No. Yeah, he seems pretty dismissive of the idea.
Okay. Whatever. It would have been for your own good. We could inform you of invaders and their positions. You don't want to.
Our own.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any other questions that you wish to ask?
What do these numbers mean?
He hesitates for a moment. How's he going to play this? We use them for navigation. He sort of points to. Oh, yeah, make a mental check.
I mean, that's the first thing I'm gonna roll insight check on, because.
Yep.
+4, 17.
Okay. You get the impression he's not lying, but he's also not divulging everything. He says they use them for navigation, then kind of just stop short.
Navigation to what?
He sort of points to a nearby column, and you can see at the top, written in Thieves' Cant, is one of the numbers.
Does
We
it
have a
lead to your
navigation
base?
system down. Sorry?
Does it lead to their thieves' base?
We have a navigation system down here. These tunnels are a labyrinth, to say the least. These numbers, they lead us back.
And you live in the sewers. You're very familiar here, yet you can't remember 5 numbers. You have to write it down on paper.
It changes.
It's what, sir?
It changes. We go back through and we erase some of the markings from time to time, just in case there are moments like these. The town guard.
Clever.
The markings are changed on a weekly basis.
Alright.
Yeah, you sort of have a little look, and it's like someone's taken chalk and just marked it on. It's not like it's been sculpted into the structure itself or anything like that.
Okay. Well, we don't really have a reason to destroy and raid a thief's base. Right?
No.
So, guess we don't do anything with the markings then?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, we don't want to disrupt anything. I mean, I understand why they live the way they do. So we don't. I mean, they've got their own society. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. And I look down to the guy and I say, "We'll let you go."
We've all got to make this is our.
Yes. Please. Please don't make this hard for any of us. We'll try and stay out of each other's way, right?
Persuasion check, please. I presume you're being sincere.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Make a persuasion.
This fucking game, I hate it. It sucks so bad. Fucking dies. 6.
Okay. He looks to you for a moment and says, "You treated me it's more than what I can say of a lot of people in this city. I'll do what I can."
I'll roll inside just for the sake. He seems sincere, but you know.
Never
9.
trust a thief.
What did you manage to get?
It's a 9.
9. You give the guy a quick way up. You definitely get the feeling that he is conflicted.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
All right.
Unless
Anything
you
else
have
you guys? Yeah. Anything else you guys wanna ask the guy? Otherwise, I say we release him, send him back to his own. Yeah. And we do not mention to Edgard that we had this guy in our clasp. Pun not intended.
So, with that, the guy grabs hold of whatever he can from his armaments that you've taken off him, and he begins staggering on back into the dark at a fairly slow pace. As before, he sort of exits from the torchlight being held by VMAC, he just sort of turns around for a moment and just says, "Good luck to you."
As to you.
And with that, he's moving into the darkness. So, you're left to your own devices. What's your plan? Are you heading towards the southeast of the castle? Or would you like to go elsewhere?
Do you guys want to stay in the sewers or should we go up top? Mm-hmm. I take out a piece of parchment, and as we do navigate, I scribble down the numbers of the corners to remember
Just to try and get
the way. Yeah, the way we went and stuff.
So, with that, you pick up your things, you get ready, and you head on back down towards the southeast. And I think there is where we will leave the session.
Cool. It was a really good session. Thank you.
Sort of free flow, social s. I didn't really know what direction you guys were going to go with, but it seems to have all gone well. Like I said at the beginning of the session, Echo!
Echo.
What?
Everyone is cool with it. I would like us to switch back to Roll20 from next.
Sure.
Okay. Don't have to look at character sheet apart anymore.
So perhaps you don't want to run with the inbuilt character sheets. You've got a couple of weeks now to put your character in there, so it's not a requirement. Run with, however.
It's okay. I'm gonna forget about it and then panic and hastily do it just before the session.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not gonna roll any macros, just gonna roll 20s and add to stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have to do math.
What in the Roll20, the session thingy, my dig there? Did we have it before, or will you share a map? I mean,
sorry, what was that, Venus? I didn't hear what you said.
No, she was asking if